Hey there. Today I would like to talk about this pen, which I recently got, the Ohto F-Lapa. Now I have already reviewed another Ohto pen. It's a Japanese brand. This is the F-Spirit, and this is the F-Lapa, which is kind of like the smaller brother. I can tell you right now, I like this pen, but I like the F-Spirit better. I'll cover the pen. I'll show you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll give you a writing sample, and that's it. So these are Japanese pens. They only come in one nib size, which is fine, because most of these Asian pens tend to have finer nibs than the Western brands offer. So yeah, there's no broad here, there's no medium here, just fine, that's all you can get. You can get two versions. This is the black and gold version. There's also a silver-like version, which looks a bit like aluminum, you know, the sort of matte metal. That's less to my liking, so I decided to get this one. Okay, let's have a look at the cap. The cap is a nice gold thing on top. Has a clip, of course. The clip is pleasant to use, tight but not too tight. It says F-Lapa and Ohto on the cap. You can probably, I'm not sure whether you can read it, but it's there. And on the other side it says FF-10B Japan. I'm not sure what FF10B means, but whatever. It has the Ohto logo on there, and it has this nice little gold thing, which is not actually on the cap, but on the barrel. And this is the big issue with this pen. I'll come back to that in a second. Now we have the barrel. The entire pen is made of aluminum, so it does, for such a small pen, it has some weight to it, not an awful lot, but some weight. It does feel fairly decent. The barrel is rounded off nicely. I think it's a little bit cooler on the F-Spirit, where it really tapers down. That's, I think, a slightly nicer design. This is a bit, blunt, but of course it does the job. Now, for those of you with small hands, I think this would work out. I have fairly large hands, fairly broad hands, so this pen looks even, thinner in my hands, but okay. Nib and feed and grip section. The grip section is just I think it's hard plastic. I don't think it's really rubbery. It does feel a bit rubbery. Not that it's soft, but it has some. It's not that smooth. So it's actually fairly pleasant to hold. Your fingers won't slip on that. And you have this, gold-ish. It's not really gold at this price, but this goldish ring. And then you have the nib. Now, to my not even surprise, but astonishment, this nib actually has some flex to it. Now, please don't run to the shop. Don't expect this to be a flex pen, but it opens up a bit under pressure, and that's fairly impressive because it's not a gold nib. I think this is steel. I can't even imagine this is gold plated, not at this price, but it is nice, and it says Iridium Point, Germany. I'm sorry, I can't tell you much more about the nib material, but I'll show you how it writes, and I think that's more important. It has some nice curly lines on there to give it some, appeal. Nice. Holds up well, a good feed. It will hold up with your writing. Now, the big issue with the pen is this thing. This weird gold thing, because it sticks out. It's like relief. Can you see that? You can see this gold thing being wider than the rest of the pen. See that? Now you can see it fairly well. That kind of sucks. The reason for that is that if you hold it like this, your fingers push against this gold ring which sticks out. It's not sharp, it won't cut into your skin, but you feel it. When you write with it, you feel it. And especially if I curl up my middle finger a bit under the pen, then this part of my finger, which is a bit more sensitive, is just exactly pushed against this gold ring. So it's kind of bothersome. I'm sorry, it's just something I really don't like that much. Now, especially if you are like me and you tend to hold your pens a little higher, not the way normal people would do like this, but a bit higher like that, then you just fully grabbing this metal ring which sticks out, and it's kind of bothersome. I won't say it's a terrible thing. It doesn't ruin the pen for me, but I just don't like it that much. So my only option is to grab the pen even higher on the barrel, which is nice and smooth, so it's fine, and then it's not a problem. I hold my pens highly anyway, so for me it's not a big issue. I just have to post it, otherwise it's too small. But if I hold it like this, then I have no problems. If you want to know what it looks like posted, if you hold it the normal way, well, this. So the cap sticks out quite a bit. Cap clicks in place, not a screw-on cap, just a click-in-place cap. In all, I have to say I like the pen. Yes, it has a big issue, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a design issue. I won't call it a design flaw, I don't want to insult anyone, but I do think it's a design issue. It looks nice. I think this looks like a nice and classy pen that you could be, proud to put in your breast pocket. Because it just looks classy. It looks nice. It is aluminum. It doesn't feel cheap, as plastic sometimes does. The nib is nice. Yes, it's a bit of a nail, but it still flexes a bit. So that's really cool, and it looks nice. So I do not regret getting this pen. But if you have a choice between the F-Lapa and the F-Spirit, I would go for the F-Spirit. I have a review of the F-Spirit in my video, so if you're interested, you can check that one out. I think this is just a little bit bigger and a bit of a nicer pen. It's definitely more pleasant to hold. Okay, so finally, converter. I forgot to order a converter, but I already had one for the F-Spirit, and I have the feeling the standard international cartridge converter might fit in there, considering the opening. Just a standard converter. You can get these for $1.65, so it's really cheap. It fits in there nice enough, and it does the job. It's a converter. Nothing fancy, but it does the job. So in all, an interesting pen, but with at least one slight issue of the weird gold ring. Apart from that, I like it. There was no box, it just came in a plastic sleeve. This is a cheaper pen, so that's what you can expect. In all, I admit I like it. It's not a bad pen, it's just different. I'll show you a writing sample next, and that's it. So I hope this was useful, and see you later. Bye bye. Okay, writing with the F-Lapa by Ohto. This is DC Super Show Blue limited edition. As you can see, I hold the pen very highly. If I do it like this, then I get the issue I talked about. Not that it matters that much, but I do feel it. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You see quite some feathering. I don't usually have that an awful lot with this paper, so perhaps it's the ink. There's an ink I haven't used that much before, so I'm not absolutely sure. Something I talked about is the line variation, flexibility. Well, see that? I think that's fairly impressive for such a cheap pen. I have to, the camera is a little bit in the way, so I'll write a bit diagonally here, but just to show you the flex. See that? So I think that's fairly impressive for a pen this cheap. Okay, when it comes to laying down a lot of ink, it's a fine nib. You see it's on the wettish side. What you also see is that there's quite a bit of white in between the blue here, which means that it sometimes, well, it doesn't really skip, but I always think the feed can be a little bit more consistent. Now it is fine, and this is what you usually see with a fine nib. So, writing under no pressure, see that? So that's a really good sign. It's not a bad pen, not at all. It's just that this weird gold protrusion is kind of in the way of writing every now and then. If you're willing to accept that, then I think you get a very nice pen for a very decent amount of money. So, I hope this was useful. I thank you for watching, and bye-bye.